If you were blindsided by a separation, a divorce, or trying to save your marriage, or if you have clients that are experiencing a separation, a divorce, or trying to save their marriage, then here are helpful tips we've used to help our clients align to new solutions.
In this video, we will share quick tips to offer you hope and solutions. So we're going to cover micro changes that you can make to achieve much better results, how patterns are formed in our relationships that cause our greatest saboteurs, and how to resolve it in these powerful steps. Society has taught us to tough it out and soldier on instead of being offered compassion and empathy. So we're here to offer you the support and hope that you need.
We have advanced steps to help you work through these challenges, whether for yourself or your clients, that we are going to cover.
Let's begin with our blind spots. How do we initially form our blind spots? Can you identify any unmet needs or perceived voids from your youth, such as lacking love and affection from a parent? Perhaps the way that was desired, maybe whether it was quality time or positive words of affirmation.
When a child seeks love, comfort, or protection during difficult times, often from a parent or a primary caretaker, and perceives those needs as not being met, they may potentially feel unloved in those instances. This forms a pattern in our subconscious mind and programming into adulthood as a void of something unfulfilled or a lack. Not feeling good enough is the belief that unconsciously causes us to feel undeserving or unworthy of love, in which many fears are centered, from former imprinted experiences of not feeling adequately loved or having our emotional needs met, regardless of whether the parents did their best to sufficiently meet the child's needs in that instance.
And most commonly, these unfulfilled needs are then unwittingly transferred to a spouse or a partner because it's a familiar pattern. This parent-child transfer then places the expectation on our partner to meet the need for us to fill the void and attempt to deepen the feelings of the worth and validation. And this often translates to our common love language of how one either felt loved or possibly ways that they didn't feel loved as a result of these unmet needs, therefore seeking it from a spouse or romantic partner, which becomes an evident pattern in significant relationships. We can actually receive love in all forms once we address the perceived void.
Subconsciously believing that we are undeserving of love will often lead to the perception or the reality that our love is rejected. These beliefs and unmet emotional needs send the implicit message that now it's our partner that needs to be supportive, where our parents or our caretakers was not available for us. Or on the contrary, will cause us to attract non-supportive and unavailable partners that reflects this belief due to the familiar pattern of the parent-child relationship, thus leading to sabotage patterns of attracting unavailable partners. So, for example, if a child believes that she or he lacks the attention and quality time from the parent that she or he is seeking love and validation from, then it's probable that filling this void is still evident within his or her primary relationships today, developing a fear of abandonment, or moreover hoping a partner will meet this need and filling an emptiness or a void desired by the parent, such as creating a feeling of neediness or insecurity if left unfulfilled, and commonly shows up in our relationships as codependence.
And consequently, this leads us to believe that the power is outside of our control and in the hands of another, and that the significant other must come equipped with the innate quality of meeting this need instead of addressing this void or past trauma. So here's how we can address the trauma or perceived void. Look for any emotional or behavioral patterns you may have. Do you have any patterns of abandonment in your relationships, such as past experience of neglect, separation, or loss that left you feeling alone or causing you to abandon others? Or do you have a tendency to seek love or companionship where it is unavailable? Because we generally choose our partners unconsciously based on a particular way we either felt loved or did not adequately feel loved by our parents, such as lacking the emotional support from the parent-child pattern, therefore creating our love languages from these patterns.
It could be self-sabotage from past conditioning, which can be reprogrammed once awareness is gained to course correct. Perceived voids lead to patterns of self-defeat and are often the greatest cause of all of our sabotaging behaviors. However, these patterns can be recoded. And this method causes us to operate from fear within relationships, which works to our disadvantage because it subjects us to depend on others and allows fear, instead of love, to win every time. These perceived voids persist throughout our life, seeking to compensate for the feeling of lack from the perception of receiving inadequate love, validation, or attention, and inadvertently finding ways to fill the void indefinitely, whether it's lack of financial resources, health and vitality, joy and freedom, love and respect, and so forth. We often feel deprived, sometimes chronically, therefore seek to compensate for this lack, developing lack consciousness related to this void and perpetuating it until it is repatterned.
And this often causes unhealthy coping and escaping behaviors through codependency or other addictions. This void often escalates as an imbalance, particularly within partnership dynamics and primary relationships, creating cycles of power struggle and unhealthy entanglements until we are able to break the pattern, no longer resisting the lack or need internally first.
We all deserve to have conscious relationships and overcome these challenges so we can experience unconditional peace and love within our primary relationships. But we must also learn how to embody self-love first and foremost.
Our romantic partners appear in our lives to open us to unconditional love, which starts with greater self-love. They are mirrors illuminating the parts of us that may have been difficult to accept or acknowledge, our blind spots. Granted, all truly deep and meaningful relationships grant us the opportunity to begin to love and accept ourselves fully and deeply for who we truly are, with compassion and gentleness for our shortcomings, which enables us to establish healthy relationships.
In next week's video, we are going to be introducing you to the relationship archetypes so that you can determine which archetypal role you play in your relationships.
So if you want more support or would like to join our team, then click the links provided and we're delighted to welcome you.